Do you have clarity for what the future looks like in terms of regulatory clarity for crypto?
Joe, first of all, thanks. It's great to be here. You know, there are gaps in the regulatory structure right now, and we need to fill those. The bottom line is we have a lot of retail participation. We have a lot of speculation. Volatility has come down a bit in the past couple months, especially since, what happened in the spring in the marketplace. But still, we have a growing, emerging economy, markets that are acting like the traditional markets we have. And from my perspective, we need to create a regulatory structure that doesn't have holes and gaps so that we're protecting people and we're embedding the principles that we have in
say,
traditional
what's the
finance.
CFTC doing? What's the SEC doing? It makes perfect sense, does it not? If you can decide what crypto assets are securities and which act like commodities, it should be fairly simple to split things up and delegate responsibility, like swaps, futures, options. Those are all your purview. Things that are based on securities could be the SEC's. Can't you guys get along? Can't you share?
We do get along.
Is that going to happen?
We can share. We have shared. We will share. But for us, the CFTC, the difficulty is, as you know, we're a derivatives regulator. We don't oversee cash markets. So the authority that I've been asking Congress for is cash authority, so that we can go into the Bitcoin cash market, the Ether cash market, and the other digital commodity tokens.
But Gary Gensler says that those are securities.
Those aren't securities?
Well, we're going to have to figure that out, I think, legislatively, because this is a new asset class, and there are different components and characteristics of this asset class as opposed to traditional asset classes. We have to rely on 70-year-old case law to determine what's a security, what's a commodity. We have at least one court case in the Eastern District of New York that says Bitcoin's a commodity. There are other cases out there, and we're just trying to figure this out as we go.
It feels like a big turf war.
Well, it's not a turf war. It's two regulators who work together in the swap space, who work together in the future space, and we're trying to find a reasonable outcome that will create certainty for the market, but also customer protections for retail investors.
I want to go back 70 years to the people that wrote the law and explain crypto to them.
Well, I don't think they knew it back then.
And show them an iPhone.
Yeah.
See what they think of all this. Do you feel we're going to get this right?
I think in the end we are. I'm pretty encouraged by what's going on in Congress right now. There's a lot of members on both the House side and the Senate side who are pretty encouraged and want to make this work. They view it from two different perspectives of the potential for economic development, innovation. From my perspective, it's about market protections and market regulation and protecting customers. We have to move slowly. I think we have to be deliberate. We don't need to race to the bottom with some other jurisdictions across the globe. But ultimately, the momentum that's happening, President Biden put out the executive order, which we're starting to see reports come in. So I think we're going to start to see some legislative action, some clarity, and then that gives me the tools that I need to oversee the market.
Things still happen in commodities, don't they? Do you remember when oil went negative? That was pretty deep.
I do. And I remember the day.
Inflation, do you feel like, wow, I'm in the right business again?
You know, it's funny because often so much of the focus of what I'm doing now is on crypto, but there is a global commodity crisis going on. Our markets are impacted. We have to make sure the markets are transparent, fair, and orderly, and reflective of price discovery and supply and demand. And there's a lot of stress in the market. There's a lot of stress for commercial end users and the liquidity providers. And we're doing the best we can working with international partners to make sure that the markets are working.